Welcome to Mommy Dentist and Business Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Grace Yem. Welcome back, listeners. You know, we pretty much drop an episode every Friday. We've been doing this for almost like 8 years, and I'm proud to say that we've been consistent. We've been ranked #1 podcast last year. We were ranked 4 years in a row, dental fan favorite, and we would not win those accolades if it were not for our listeners. So it's really the community. It's really about you guys. And my podcast is here to serve our dental community. You don't have to be a mommy dentist to listen. We've got listeners from 44 countries, and it's really impressive. Not just dentists, but hygienists, dental students, and alike. And our podcast has a huge reach, which I'm very proud of. And today I'm excited to introduce all of our listeners to one of my really dear friends. And she is from Chicago. She's an official member of Mommy Dentist, a proud one. And I am really happy to hang out with her today. Dr. Bhumika Patel, a practicing dentist, aka of 2 offices, mind you, innovator, and the Chief Clinical Officer of A2Z Imaging. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Grace. It's nice to be on here.
Well, I've been wanting you to be on here for quite some time, so I'm very excited to finally have you and for all of our friends to get to know you. And so, my very first question that I always ask all of our guests is to tell the audience in less than 2 minutes a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, that's a loaded question. So I am a practicing dentist, like you said, as well as an innovator, as well as a mom. I do own 2 dental offices in Chicago, and I co-founded A2Z Imaging along with my husband, as well as I became the chief clinical officer. How I got to where I am? Well, so that's a funny story. Actually, a lot of people don't know about this. I was not born here. A lot of people assume I was born here. And when I first came here, I didn't know a word of English. And the reason
Wow.
I'm telling you this story is because it actually plays an important part today. So when I got here, I was taken on by I Had a Dream Foundation. And in that foundation, they help you with your homework as well. And one of my projects in 5th or 6th grade was to figure out an innovation that has never been made and to present it in class. And coming from a different country, I'm like, what does that mean? What is that? What do you mean? Everything's been invented. And based on that, I actually met a gentleman who was working for a company that patents innovations. And he really encouraged me to go out of my comfort zone and do an innovation.
Mm.
And lo and behold, he took my innovation to his company to get it patented. It didn't get patented, but I got in 2nd place apparently. And this is where my innovation journey actually began, to come up with questions and actually solve them. And my ideas do matter. And that's how, the whole idea for A to Z Imaging, A to Z, everything came about.
That is so cool. I love that story, and I love that it started young. And I just think it's so neat that you had that opportunity and that experience. Thank you for sharing that, because that is so unique to you and shows what kind of person you are. And talk about not knowing any English, like what? Like that, and you are so brilliant in that you're able to come up with an innovation and have that opportunity. I mean, I think that's such a neat story. And now I can see how that ties into what you're doing right now. But what inspired you to transition from practicing dentist to imaging innovator? Because your product is obviously imaging product. And clearly, from a young age, you've been inspired and motivated to think outside the box. But I would love to see, like, hear how you actually came up with this innovation.
Absolutely. So this idea came about in actually 2014. So 2014, I had just delivered my daughter, and I also found out that I got my space to do a startup for dental office. And I don't know if a lot of people know this that don't have a startup. You literally have to think of every single little thing when you do a startup. It's not just furniture here, let's move around things here. You literally have to think of where to put the plugs, where do you put the wires? And this is where this journey began because I got to really innovate my whole office. And in that, my husband was actually involved because he did my entire IT and wires. And when it got to the operatory, I was like, oh, God, there's just so many wires everywhere. Why does dental need so many wires? And from intraoral scanner to the intraoral camera to the sensors. And all I said is, you know what? I wish I could get rid of all these wires so I could have a clean look. And my husband's like, and his name is Swaroop. He said, okay. And I was like, what do you mean, okay? And he's like, I can make that happen. So lo and behold, all those other wires from the intraoral, the camera and everything was gone except my sensors. And he said, this one is going to take some time. And I was like, how much time? And this is how, the whole idea started. And we started collaborating on what could make the overall flow better. Because as I was, journeying through practicing, every time my sensor would drop, my heart would drop along with it. Not that, anyone is doing it on purpose, accidents happen. So, I'll be practicing dentistry and I can even hear from the other room when my sensor drops and I'll just run out and back out and stare at my hygienist or my assistant like, what was that? You just dropped a Mercedes to the ground there. And it's like I said, no one, does it on purpose. And sometimes they don't know how expensive this little piece of equipment
Right.
is.
Right. Oh, totally.
So that's where it all started, and we started, having a big whiteboard, drawing board ideas, and
Mm.
made our first product, A2Z, which makes your dental sensors wireless. And the reason we did it that way is because I'm thinking, well, I don't just need my sensor wireless. What if in the future I get a different brand or other? And then that's how we expanded on to providing it to others too. That
Mhm.
any sensor that's out there, how can we make this wireless so it's not being dropped? It's a seamless workflow, and that's how the whole idea started.
Yeah, no, I really love that, and I know that it's like it's a lot, right?
Hmm.
To bring on, like you said, you delivered your baby. Same with me, so I can really empathize. 2014, I had delivered my son, my second child, and opened up my second de novo, new construction practice, and when I think about that time and I think about how challenging and all the things that go into it, like you said, you're thinking about where does the electricity go? Where are your light cans going? Like when you're building from scratch, you're thinking about construction from every little thing, from picking out your hardware for your sink and how to make your toilet, your bathroom ADA compliant, like you're thinking of every dimension and every size and every tile and it's like building a house, right? And then on top of that, having a baby on top of that. So for listeners out there, if you are thinking about having a family or you thinking about having a practice or starting a new one, not buying one, that's like a whole nother podcast episode, probably two, because it is a lot, but it can be done. And then on top of that, if you are a dreamer, an inventor, or want to do other things and products, and this is why Dr. Bhumika and I really get along, is because we've done all those things, and on top of that, product stuff, and how much work and drive it takes to get from point A to point B. But it can be done, and if we can do it, so can you. So if you're thinking about it, don't be scared to do it. You just need to get some research going and information before you embark. So my next question is A2Z Imaging started initially with A2Z. So you started with A2Z and then it swapped or transitioned into A2Z Imaging. How did that invention influence the development of your other product, Duo?
Yes. So
And what does all
well,
that mean?
yes. So the Duo is a sensor, X-ray sensor, and you've used it, so I'll let you provide your feedback. But how it came about was we thought, okay, so we came up with Air to Z, but maybe not everyone is ready to go wireless yet. So why don't we actually have a sensor that is wireless ready. So if you want to do wired, great. We made the dual sensor with a short cable basically and another it's called a quick swap cable that's longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that cable is amazing and a lifesaver because let's say you break that wire or someone ran over it. Well, guess what? Take it off and throw it out. You just saved your $7,000 sensor, and all you do is replace it with that wire, which is like, I don't know, maybe $50 or something. Um, so that's how it came about. And let's say that now you're ready to go to the wireless system. All you do is take that cable off and introduce the A2Z or it's wireless ready. And just keep in mind that with Duo, I also wanted a great quality, not just any other sensor. So we made a pediatric size and an adult size that is comfortable, high quality, and has great support.
So I want to back up a little bit, and then I will talk about the sensor in a minute. But the first product that you guys came out with was not the sensor. It was a box, and I think we have to talk about this because then we can talk about the sensor, which everybody knows. But not everybody knows about this little box and the trick that it does. It's like magic. So I'm going to let you do the explaining, but I think people need to hear what the original product was that you started with.
Absolutely. So it's a small little box that, you can attach your sensor to. It loops around your wire so because you don't need the wire anymore. And if you have a Nomad, for example, you can have it attached to your Nomad. So whichever room you go to, all you have to do on the box, there's room numbers that you can attach basically the Z part, which goes onto the computer. Okay, so it will assign a room number. So let's say you have 6 rooms, there's 6 buttons on this box. So if you want to take x-ray in the first room, all you have to do is press number 1 on this box and it's ready to go for you to shoot and take x-ray. You're not unplugging, replugging, moving it from room to room because now if you take it to the second room, you just press number 2 on there and that's it. So that's why it stays wireless. You're not, moving around any wires, plugging, unplugging, and it saves like, I don't know, like 40 hours per year just taking your
It saves
cables
so
from
much
room to room.
time, right?
Yeah,
Because number
absolutely.
one, not every office can afford to have cables in every room or
Yep.
sensors in every room, right? What, like they used to be like, I know when I first started using it back, oh my God, 2000 something, 8, 9, it's like 12 grand a sensor back
Yep.
then.
2014, it was around the same time, which is why I said you dropped my Mercedes, but
Right, right.
Mercedes
So,
are more expensive.
right. But you're like, I can't afford, right, to have them in each room or each, for us, we had like one station where it was the x-ray station. It
Mhm.
wasn't even in an op. You just went to the x-ray station, and then from the op, you have to open up Texas and then read the x-ray from there. But if we wanted to take, like if we had an emergency patient, that emergency patient or whoever, one patient would have to wait until the sensor was freed up. You could, you only had one set. And then, you weren't able to move the cable from room to room because you still needed to buy that little box to bridge to the computer. So it was a nightmare. So this is such a really cost-effective, time-saving way and a nice solution for your imaging. And then you rolled out the sensor, which I had the opportunity to use in the office I work at, and it is so easy.
I'm glad you
Oh,
like it.
I loved it. The assistants that I work with, they loved it. And it was a piece of cake. It was so easy. Now, the next innovation you need to make is just having a sensor and no cord. So, when you get to that part, I mean, honestly, it's amazing because the image quality. Now, people are always worried about the quality. The quality is great. It's just as good as a Dexys. I personally thought the image quality was top notch and it was so easy to use. And I think that right there, I think the two kind of challenges that dental offices face or want easy to use, right?
Yeah.
Because they won't, otherwise the assistants won't use it because the dentist isn't taking the x-rays, right? And then what is the quality to read the diagnostic? Those two are the most important things for a dental office. And then it's cost, right? So we're
Mhm.
looking for a cost-effective solution to get high quality images that's easy to use. In my opinion, that's what people in dental offices should be looking for. My next question to you is what makes Duo's design and protection plan, because I know you have one, unique or different compared to other sensors on the market that other dentists are taking a look at? Because for me, what I see most people talk about is obviously the Dexist or they're looking at Schick. So how does yours compare to the other ones on the market?
I'll take you back on that. You said that, there's few things that dentists really look for, right? Which is the image quality. Number one, that, these are obviously me being a dentist. That's why I wanted to deliver those things to other dentists.
Right.
And, the people I work with that are here, that's what they actually specialize in is image processing. They come from a background in medical where they used to design CT scans and PET scans. So we brought that innovation into the dentistry. So that's why we have that high quality. And it is highly comparable if you look at it to Dexis and Schick. And that's who we wanted to, be there for. Like, okay, these are the two sensors you're looking for. With this quality, absolutely. Second thing you said is cost. So how can we bring this cost down? And that is what we did. So we don't need to spend $12,000 or whatever the price is right now on the market for that. So we brought that, cost down with the best support, because for us, our company, support is the pillar. And so one of the ways the support is for the Duo, the plan that you're talking about, it's actually only $39 a month. And if you think about it, there's two ways sensors really make money: by selling the sensor or their support plan, right? We're not trying to make money off of the support plan. We really want to make sure that dentists have the tools that they need to protect their sensors. So for $39 a month, if you really think about it, like last week, just my staff, I spent over $50 just buying them Starbucks. So $39 is not expensive, and it really covers a lot. So for example, let's say that, your sensor broke and it's not working. No problem. Call our support. We'll get it to you overnight, because $39 is nothing compared to how much you're going to lose by not having those patients in the chair, right?
Well, I agree with you 100%. Okay. Because let me interject here. When I had Dexis, again, this is 2008, 2009, right? Or 7, 8, 9. And if our sensors went down or the software was acting funny, and again, remember, I only had one x-ray station at the time. How much money, how much production am I losing by not being able to take my imaging? Right?
Yep.
I would call and they'd be like, oh, well, our person that fixes these things will come in like 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, to hell they are. I was like, okay, well then you owe me. And I was like, I will go through my schedule and I will add up all the dollars that I will lose by not being able to take these x-rays. And then you owe me that money. How about that?
And I feel your pain because, like you, I've been through it as well,
Right.
which is why I wanted to create this plan that really solves the problem.
Right. Exactly. Like send someone ASAP or give me a loaner today, or each day I'm going to add up how much production I lose and you're going to have to pay me for that.
Absolutely. And that is
yeah.
what we do. We send you a loaner overnight while we take your sensor, figure out what's wrong with it, fix it. And the nice thing is, a lot of people don't know this, is, like you mentioned, the kids chew on the wire, right?
Yeah.
And so many times the support fixes that wire the best they can. But what we do is actually we change out the entire casing. It's almost like getting a brand new sensor back to you, and we'll figure it out for you.
Well, that's awesome. But like you said, you have that other wire. So I've received the kit and it's a nice big black box and you open it and all the stuff is in there. But having that long wire is amazing because now you have a backup wire. Yeah. So if your first wire is too short, then you've got the long wire, or if something happens, like you have two, so you always have a backup. And I think that that's, one of the best things is having access to have those wires. The long one really helps, to be honest, because especially if you have a situation where, especially in pediatrics, right? Like if the kid isn't cooperative or you have special needs and you have to rearrange your chair, or, so having the option, having the two links is really great depending on the situation that you're in. So, dentist, if you're listening, sometimes you don't think about those things until you're in that situation. And then you're like, I need this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And guess how I came up with those ideas?
Because of your own experience, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's why it's designed through the lens of a dentist. Like, what's better than that? And $39 a month is nothing, like nothing, to be honest. So, what do you see as your next frontier for dental imaging technology?
Well, I wish I could tell you, sworn to secrecy here, but I will tell you we have a lot of exciting projects that we're working on that should be coming out in the next couple of years. You almost were kind of hinting at one earlier, but you know that right now everything is AI. I mean, like we have, things like Overjet and Pearl and other companies that are looking at images and coming up with basically pathologies and all of that. We have AI receptionist. We have cars that are self-driving. So we want to
Yeah.
also go that extra mile and do something in AI plus more. So that's about as much as a hint I will give you.
Well, I love that. I think that's such a neat concept, and it's amazing to think about all the different things that's out there for the future and what dentistry. I mean, obviously, dentistry is dentistry, but the tools that we have is night and day. I mean, from 10, 12 years ago to what we had access to. I mean, digital imaging itself was a big deal. Right.
Mhm.
It took so long to get everybody on board with digital imaging. And I just thought, why not? Why not make your life easier? Why not, do all that? Now, I think part of the issue of being a pioneer or someone that uses technology quicker or onboards quicker, right? Like if you are in that first wave of like adopting technology, you you're in a way part of the research, right? That goes into further development because those people that onboard the technology sooner, faster. Like when we were talking about AI 2 years ago, 3 years ago, those people that onboarded now, they're part of the collective research that makes the product better with the input and feedback, right? And so it becomes like a second wave. Some people skip out on the first wave and wait for the product to become even better to get to the second wave. But I think it's exciting to jump on board right away. It's exciting to see the technology evolve and grow. And I'm a techie. I mean, not techie like as in I can figure everything out. I love toys. I love
Yeah.
new toys, and I
I
love
like using them, right?
yeah, I like using them. I like new toys. I always like, think, gosh, if I opened up a practice now, oh my God, I'd be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to use that. I want to use this. But I think that that's the beauty of technology is to make systems efficient and make your life easier.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I want to do is make life easier. Whether you're in that first wave or not, we want to come up with solutions where, take it to where they will never go. I mean,
Right.
like you were saying earlier, actually we have our systems actually being used on mission trips. It's
Cool.
made it easier for them
Yeah.
to take those x-rays where it
Yeah.
was difficult before or mobile dentistry. So you never know where it's going to go. You
You
never know.
never know. You never know. But I just think it's really great. And obviously you're an innovator, you're an early adopter, and you are making changes to make our industry move faster and more efficiently. So we are grateful for that. My last parting question for you is now, it's always fun to get answers and responses to this from all of our different guests that we have on our podcast. But because you're a mommy dentist in business and you are the true example of why I started this group in the first place. Well, actually, this is a two-part question. Why did you become an official member? And like, what do you love about our official membership?
Well, so You know, it's funny because you also went to UIC.
No, I
You did
didn't.
not?
No,
Well,
no.
then Olivia and a lot of the people that were my classmates knew you. And I thought, how did I miss out on her? I remember seeing her. And it was not till COVID that I found out about this mommy dentist in business group. And it was through one of my reps. And they asked me, oh, are you part of that group, right? I'm like, what group? What is that group? And that's how I found out about you. And then I started researching. And then I find out, some of my classmates that are on there. And we're like, okay, we're just going to join this. And we didn't really think much into it. We, meaning me and my friends, we didn't really think much into it. We just joined it. And again, just an early adapter, just jump in
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and see what is the hype about this group. And obviously, I couldn't have joined in at a more better time because that was the time there was so much uncertainty on what we're doing, what's happening with the practices, what are we doing with this loan, who's applying for what. And I felt like you were on top of it, ahead of the curve. You brought in all this information. To me, that alone, my first membership into it, I'm like, ooh, all this information. I need to do this. I'm going back to my husband. I'm like, I need to do this. It's like, where are you getting your information? I'm calling my accountant. He doesn't even know yet. And and I'm like, so it really helped me. And that's all it took. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a continued membership going
I
on.
love
That's
that.
really all it took because you provide that information. You go above and beyond to be, on top of everything and provide that support to all the mommies.
That was my vision, first and foremost, was this group of women that we can rely and support on each other, right? And through our networking, through a lot of different components, that's what makes this valuable. What makes this group so supportive and valuable is the information in a non-cluttered way. So for listeners who are on the fence about joining us, the whole point of this group is there's no negativity. I won't tolerate any trolling. This is a professional network. It's a professional group of where we get our information and how we get it to you so that you can be the most successful version, so that you don't say somebody's gatekeeping or I don't know how to do XYZ. And our community is almost like a built-in mentorship. And we have so many different pillars and communities inside of our membership. So if you are an innovator like Dr. Bhumika, we have an innovators club. If you are somebody with multiple practices, we have a separate Facebook group for multiple practice owners. If you're a practice owner, period, official members can go to our CEO roundtables, which is only for practice owners or you once owned a practice and so forth. So we have all these little tiny kind of subset groups that I call affinity groups for those that are looking for particular information. So it's even more specialized in mommy, dentist, and business, right? And what I love about it is that I wish I had this when I started out. If I had this community in 2007, my life would have been so much more, I would say, easy starting a new practice, new construction office from scratch, motherhood being new, right? All of those questions were so difficult at the time, but now I just really enjoy this, see the growth of the community and getting more members involved. So if you're on the fence and you are like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should join. We also partner with over 70 partners and companies like Dr. Bhumika's, where they offer special pricing for our group. So if you want special pricing and discounts, we have partnered with so many amazing groups that is another way to do that. So mommydibs.com, mommydibs.com. Search our events, search our podcasts, our webinars. It's all there. My two-part question is, because you're a mom and you're a dentist and you own practices, how are you balancing all of this? I mean, what are you doing to try to accomplish all the hats that you're wearing, from mommy, dentist, again, like the title in business, like, and you have multiple businesses going on right now. It's not just the practice. What is going on?
Well, so that's something, I'm still learning more and more as I go on. I mean, you don't have all the answers, right? So you have a situation and you figure out a solution. For me, I learned how to take time for myself. So for example, I wake up early morning now where I drink my coffee in peace, in silence, and that's my time to get everything together. And I didn't used to do that before. I was not an early riser, but this one act, for example, has solved so many problems. So simple things like that. Or, I'll take 5 minutes out of the day to do some relaxation or breathing exercises. I will just basically balance out my time. And I've decided now that, if I'm home with my family, then I need to be home, not on my phone, not on other things. So these little things have really helped me balance out. And again, I'm still learning. I'm not 100%. Many times on vacation, I'll still pick up like no, 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 let me figure out the solution, right? But I realized, okay, need to stop. The building is not burning down. We are okay. You're allowed to take a vacation in peace. So again, it's a learning process. I'm still learning. And
I
I know
love
Grace has
that.
helped me with this too.
Well, I try to help all of our mommies, and we have our little masterminds and our one-on-ones, and having walked the walk for many years and talked the talk, I definitely feel that I can impart information and help as many people as I can walking the same walk. And through that, it's helpful because you want the perspective of someone who can understand exactly what you're going through, right? It's hard to of course, you can talk to other people, but when someone's actually walked your walk, when you're talking about distribution channels, when you're talking about, oh my God, all the little supply chain issues, when you're ordering parts for this in this way, and I don't know if we've had that discussion, but, I used to own a product business myself and sold on
Mm.
Amazon for many years. And it's like when all of that, going from like packaging to marketing to design to like getting the bulk order, and it's a lot to deal with, and you need to have the right people on the bus to accomplish your dreams and goals. So again, balancing is never easy, especially when you are trying to be everything to everyone, and that's where our community comes in. We talk about what that's like, the stress, the pressure, the hardships. Sometimes we lose ourselves in a way. We lose our health, we lose sleep, we lose our physical health, which is why we stress the importance of being physically healthy so that we can do all the things and be all the things. And as women, especially business entrepreneurial women, we have to be very involved with what the numbers look like and what our finances look like. So we do touch on that as well. So again, if you're listening and you want to learn more and you want to be a part of our group, reach out, DM us, message us, go to our website. Check it out. We'd love to have you. And on that note, we're going to end our podcast. Thank you again, Dr. Patel, for being here. We're so proud of you and all your achievements and accomplishments. You should be so proud of yourself. And if anyone here wants to reach out to you or the company and learn more about your product, what is your website?
Yes, it's mdib.a2zimaging.com. So it's mdib.a and then number 2, Z imaging.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for working with the mommies and supporting the mommies. And our mommies love supporting you because you are an official member. So thank you for that. Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you.
you.